hello, and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. I'm your host, Randy Rosenbaum. For the next 30 minutes, we're going to have a very entertaining show for you. We're going to talk about the LA City Section Hall of Fame. We have a couple great guests. Wesley Walker, former All-Pro wide receiver who prepped at Carson. He's going into the Hall of Fame on Sunday. Also being inducted is a great basketball official who is an interesting, talented basketball performer at Canoga Park by the name of Mike Scyphers. He's done many, many NCAA tournament basketball games as an official. We'll chat with them later. As you know, my co-host is Tarek Fatal. Tarek's been very busy today, so he's going to do it from a studio in the San Fernando Valley. So my co-host, Tarek Fatal, will join me right now. And Tarek, we got quick business. We have a new commissioner in the southern section of the CIF. Rob Weigod's retiring. He's been there for a while, since 2011. And Mike West, who's a principal at King High School in Riverside, will take over in early July. Mike West is the new guy, Tarek.
It's a huge undertaking. I want to say the CIF has over 500 schools in its, governing body, so to speak. It's a large role to take on, and I'm interested to see what Mike West is going to do to stamp his identity, if you will, into the new Southern Section office, right? It's like when you take over as a new head coach, you got a new scheme, new approach, new culture you're trying to establish. And I'm curious to see what Mike West does. I wish him the best of luck.
It's 569 schools to be exact.
Wow.
That's how many schools he'll oversee as the new commissioner. We wish him the best of luck, and Rob Weigod's going to retire, and we wish him a lot of luck. All right, let's talk a little bit about that Hall of Fame that's coming up on Sunday, the City Section Hall of Fame. And a number of great people are going in. And obviously we're going to talk with Wesley Walker and Mike Scyphers. But for me, speaking of commissioners, John Aguirre, the former commissioner of the City Section, is going in. And a couple of great baseball names as well. Renee Latchman, who was in baseball for 53 years, and Larry Durker, former great pitcher from Taft High School, many, many great years in Major League Baseball. Who do you look at as the guy or gal that got in this year that excites you the most, Tarek?
I can't necessarily say I have one in particular that just, jumps off the page for me, but, the city section is so rich in history, especially athletic history. We're talking about high schools. For example, the San Fernando Valley and northern Los Angeles areas that I cover for almost a decade. The readership is so devout to the community because these are the schools that have been around the longest. So when you talk about a Hall of Fame, an athletic Hall of Fame for these schools, these are some of the best athletes that ran on the football field or the basketball court or the track. And so it's awesome to see those names go into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, 23 will be inducted on Sunday. It'll be interesting to see all the speeches that are made by all the new inductees. And they also have a legacy group of individuals who have passed on who are also going into the Hall. Well, one of those great 23 wore number 85 in the pros. That's Wesley Walker. He was a super player for the New York Jets. Actually caught 71 touchdowns as a pro. We're going to bring Wesley Walker in. He's one of the big names that is going into the Hall of Fame on Sunday. And Wesley, we welcome you on to the program on SoCal Prep Report. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's good to be with you tonight. I'm getting excited for it. My wife and I are going to come down. I just moved to Arizona from New York just this past December, so we're going to run in this. Actually, I'm going to walk, but my wife is running the Pat Tillman run out here, and then we're going to take the trip, drive to LA. I'm going to see my brother and my cousin and take the trip to Granada Hills, so I'm looking forward to it.
What does this mean to you? I mean, you had a great pro career. You were a star at Cal. People say the high school career. Does it mean that much to somebody that accomplished so much like a guy like you, like Wesley Walker?
Well, it means a lot to me, and I was lucky enough, Carson, where I went to school, high school, they just had their first Hall of Fame induction 2 years ago, in which I was inducted along with my coach, Gene Vonega, and a few others. And I was very proud. And one of the things, I know we can't speak for too long, which I'm glad because I'm not a big speaker, but I want to thank my coach, Gene Vonega, who was very instrumental for me at Carson. It was so important for me. And I didn't get a chance to really tell his daughter that at our function. But if it wasn't for Gene Vogelnagel, who had the confidence in me, who saw something in me, he was my role model, taught me the value of education. And without his guidance, there would be no Wesley Walker. And so that is who I want to dedicate this particular award. So that's why it's important for me to be there. And I'm looking forward to Sunday to be able to thank him.
Wesley, I have to ask, when you watch the pro game today, what to you stands out the most, whether it be the athlete, the game, the coaching, the prep? What to you is so different from when you played, when you watched today's game?
Well, I think it's become more of a passing leg. I remember just having the standard, fullback, halfback. Now you have different sets formations with the passing game, and I wish that was during my time because I was very frustrated as a pro playing with the New York Jets. I mean, the most balls I think I caught in one season was 62, and I would look at other receivers who were having these great years catching over 100 balls, and I remember I had over 1,000 yards with just 48 balls or so, and I just wanted to be able to catch the ball and do something with it, but I just didn't get those opportunities. So that's what stands out for me as a wide receiver with the passing game. You just have so much more opportunities, and obviously with the rule changes, you've been able to have more success because you can't do certain things like you were able to do, especially as a defensive back. So it makes it easier for receivers to get open. But I would say it's just become more of a passing leg.
Now we're just watching right now some highlights from a game I'm sure you remember against the Miami Dolphins. We had 4 touchdown receptions. That had to be a real highlight for you.
Yes, I wish they were all like that, unfortunately. And the story behind that, I was really angry at my coach in the first half. He wasn't really using me. I was ready to quit because I was nursing a groin injury, a strain, and he wasn't really utilizing me. And then towards the second quarter, the end of the second quarter, we came up with a couple of plays that hit me for 2 touchdowns right away, and then we came back with no time left on the board, 0 seconds, and I was able to catch a ball over the middle with Kenny O'Brien with no time left, and then we came back in overtime and won the game, and that will definitely, I will never forget, and I was the most valuable player. And once you reach that pinnacle and being most valuable, getting to the Pro Bowl, which I had the opportunity to be a part of with my team, that's just an awesome feeling. But I just wish all the games were like that.
Right.
Wesley, I do have to ask, when you mentioned about the heavy pass game, when you do watch it, is there a quarterback in particular you think, man, I wish he was throwing me the rock back in the day? Is there one that stands out to you that you wish you could catch some touchdowns from?
But reporters used to get mad with me, and I think of Dan Marino, I think of John Elway, and I used to tell them, I never played with Joe Namath. Joe Namath had gotten traded, but I said I would take Kenny O'Brien, Richard Todd over anybody that I played with. These guys were great, and it's unfortunate we had a lot of superstars on our team, but we didn't win, or we didn't get to let's say the playoffs or Super Bowl where you get all these accolades. But my guys could play with anybody. But you look at a guy like Tom Brady, who's been to the championship like 11 times, and just to get to the Super Bowl is so difficult. So I admire a guy like him who's been there multiple times and been able to accomplish what he's accomplished. And there's nobody in history has been able to do that on a consistent basis. You don't know when you're going to get those opportunities. I think of Cam Newton, who had a great year the one year I went to the Super Bowl, and then he hasn't been the same since. But you just don't know when you're going to get that opportunity, so you got to take advantage. But if it was one guy, maybe Tom Brady, because he's been there so many different times. But when you get to that level, everybody's pretty much on the same level. Everybody has different attributes, what they bring to the table. And I hate when they try to label athletes as who's the greatest of all times. Everybody is different. Everybody is great. It's just they bring something different to the table.
Last question for Wesley Walker. You played on the 1971 Carson Colts team that went 12-0. You never lost a game at the prep level when you played. A lot of people think that's the best high school team in the city section's history. I saw a poll. It was ranked #1. What do you remember about the 71 team?
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of people didn't give us a lot of credit, and we certainly had I don't know, some niche of winning, and that was due to Gene Volnagel. And I just tell you, you know, with your work ethic and the time that you put in and the way we try to develop ourselves as a team, it's just that, you know, a lot of people didn't believe that we could get it done. And that becomes where, in my mantra, you know, if you don't believe in me, I at least believe in myself, and we're going to prove a lot of people wrong. I had a coach call me a pea brain, said I would never amount to anything. I was very small. You know, people said I couldn't catch because I could run very fast. A lot of people didn't even know. I don't even know if my coaches in high school knew I was legally born blind in my left eye. So I had people telling me or making fun of me because my eyes used to be cross-eyed or whatever, but said you would never amount to anything. Well, I proved a lot of people wrong by playing 13 years in the National Football League, All-Pro, the best in the world. So when I think about those things as a high school player, being able to develop that, that's the kind of thing Gene Volnagel brought in all of us to bring us together as a team, and that's why we were so successful.
Well, congratulations on the honor, well-deserved. Ring of honor for the Jets, and an honorable man indeed. And we'll see you, we'll meet you on Sunday. Enjoy your speech, enjoy the good food at the Odyssey, and we'll see you Sunday, Wesley. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, the great Wesley Walker, formerly of Cal, Carson, and obviously the great years with the Jets. And obviously also, Tarek, he deserves to be in the LA City Section Hall of Fame.
Outstanding, outstanding. And that what also is so awesome about Hall of Famers, at whatever level it is, Football Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame, City Section Hall of Fame, everyone's got a story. And, you know, Wesley just in a couple minutes told us about, you know, how he felt like he was too small, or, you know, he couldn't see well out of one eye, and he was born half blind, or whatever the case may be. And what a great story to overcome that, be an all-pro, and be one of the best athletes in the world. Fantastic.
Mike Scyphers is another gentleman, terrific official. He's going to go into the Sunday Hall of Fame. It's going to be Sunday for him, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He was a great star in basketball at Canoga Park. He's going in as an official. We'll meet him when we come back right after this from Pacific Surfliner.
Southern California has always been a land of discovery. From historic gems to iconic beaches to top attractions. Let the Amtrak Pacific Surfliner be part of your journey as you explore more of the place we call home. Reconnect with the communities you love most, with the people you love most. Isn't it time you rediscovered Southern California?
And welcome back to SoCal Prep Report with Tarek Fattal. I'm Randy Roosevelt. I'm excited about the next guest, Tarek, because it's Mike Scyphers. And Mike and I go back a lot of years. I called one of my first games as a student at Cal State Northridge, and he hit the game-winning shot from backcourt, right around half court, but let's say backcourt. As years go by, the shot gets better, to upset Irvine on the road. One of the great iconic shots in CSUN history. This is going to be fun for me. Tarek, I think you're going to like Mike Scyphers.
Oh, I can't wait to ask him about some CSUN basketball, because there's a new coach coming to the Matadors, and I can't wait to ask him about that, because it's been bad over at the Matadome for about 10 years.
All right, let's bring in Mike. Good guy. The one thing I dislike about Mike Scyphers, he looks great. We're basically the same age, and he looks 30 years younger than everyone. Mike, good evening, and congratulations on the honor. How excited are you to be going into the LA City Section Hall of Fame?
Well, Randy, thanks for having me. Tarek, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, but I do follow you on some tweets, and I know you're a big Simi Valley guy, and so it's a pleasure to be here tonight with you two guys. You know, it's something that you don't ever expect. You know, I was 5'8", 120 pounds in high school, played hard, played a lot, and my work ethic was tremendous. And I just, you know, I went to Northridge I went there to play baseball, and I ended up playing 4 years of basketball. And it just came down to the love of the game. I'd rather play basketball than play baseball. And I just had a tremendous time playing for Pete Cassidy for 4 years.
You have an interesting career going. Obviously, you're still officiating. You've done 2,300 or thereabouts NCAA games, close to 30, 40 NCAA tournament games, and Elite Eight, Sweet 16s. You've had a great NCAA career as an official, but you've been a coach at baseball. You were a big-time coach at Simi Valley. Obviously, you played basketball at Canoga Park at a high level and then played for Northridge. So who are you? What is Mike Scyphers' favorite thing? Which one is in the heart for Mike Scyphers?
Right now, it's golf.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy playing golf. I play 3-4 times a week. But going back to my officiating career, it kind of just fell in my lap. I had a junior high PE teacher that I had a lot of respect for. His name was Paul Arneson. He ended up being a counselor. He was a PE teacher at Sutter and then a counselor at Reseda. And when I got done playing, John Starkins and I were buddies, and he gave us both a call and he said, listen, I think you guys might be good at this. Go buy a whistle, get a ref shirt, and I'll put you to work in the San Fernando Valley. And so I started working those youth games for $4.50 back in the day in the 70s, and joined the high school association in 77, I believe. And then I was through a couple mentors, Jerry White and Bill McCabe. I went to a Pac-10 tryout camp in 1982 and was hired. So I've been in the Pac for 41 years, but been blowing a whistle for 48 years.
All right, Tarek, here's your chance if you want to ask him about Cal State Northridge.
Man, I mean, I got so many questions, but I got to keep it on. I've been covering the San Fernando Valley for the Daily News for almost a decade now. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. I used to go to the CSUN games and watch Bobby Braswell win at Cal State Northridge. I mean, that's what I remember. And then, things got difficult. It's always been kind of difficult there, but Bobby was the most recent one to get success. They bring in Reggie Theus, no go. They bring in Mark Gottfried, no go. Trent Johnson for the last 2 years. I'll tell you right now, it's looking like it's going to be Andy Newman as the new head coach from Cal State San Bernardino. Mike, when you think about Cal State Northridge basketball and how poor it's been for the last decade, what comes to mind for you?
Well, change, first of all. I mean, I'm glad they made the change. And I know they've made changes before, and I thought Mark Gottfried was going to be the guy. I go way back with him to his days when he was an assistant at UCLA for Jim Herrick. And I thought Mark was going to turn it around, and, there were some issues there. And, ADs come and go. And if an AD doesn't like you and he's not your guy, they seem to, at that level, Division I level, they seem to want to bring in their own guys. So I do know Andy. I've had a few of his games when he's come and played out at UCLA or USC locally. I know he's a go-getter, fiery type of an individual, which that's kind of the way I coach. So I think he's going to do well for Northridge, and it doesn't happen overnight. But right. I would like to see it happen in the next couple of years and at least get respectable. It's a tough league. I've refereed that league umpteen years. I think I got in the Big West in 1987 or something. And there are some really, really good coaches in the Big West. And I've always said I'd like to see some of these guys get into the Pac-10 or Pac-12 now, just to see how they would do, because I think they do really, really well.
Mike,
I've got a quick follow-up. Randy, can I ask him one more quick one? One more quick one.
I know you're excited to talk to Mike, so you got to ask another question.
That's like last one. I just feel like that is a school. It's not hard to win there. It's not easy to win there, excuse me. The facilities aren't like, oh, yeah, come on campus. You want to go here. But if there's one thing I feel like CSUN needs to happen, Mike, and you're a testament to that. You're a local guy. Doesn't CSUN need to recruit local kids, be a school the community can be proud of? Do you agree with that sentiment? Do you think that's a good place to start for the Cal State Northridge basketball coach like Andy Newman?
Yeah, 100%. When I played there, it was almost all locals. We had a guy named Jack Dyke who played at Granada Hills, Steve Saunders. I mean, we had all local guys, and we did well. If the new coach can focus his recruiting to the San Fernando Valley then I got to believe he's going to have some success. Sure, every once in a while you're going to reach into the portal and get one.
Sure.
Maybe get an out-of-stater guy, but you blend those guys in. But absolutely, there's so much talent in the San Fernando Valley, Ventura County, San Bernardino County, where if he just concentrated on the local kids, because it is tough. It's a commuter school. There's no football. And there's some negatives to going to a school like that. But hopefully he can recruit the type of kid that's gonna do well there and have a great 4 years there.
Last question for Mike Scyphers. Unfortunately, Greg Lee, who's going into the Hall of Fame with you on Sunday, recently passed away. He obviously is not going to be there, so that's heartbreaking. But I know you played against him when he was at Reseda and you were at Canoga Park. Quickly, what were those battles like?
Oh, they were unbelievable. They had Lee, Gary Franklin, Baz Majian. They had a really, really good high school team, but so did we. And they beat us at their place the first round our senior year. And now they're like 9-0 and we're 8-1 and we're playing at our place. And I think I held Greg to 42 that night. And
wow.
It was like he shot 30-some free throws and we couldn't barely touch the guy. And fouls were being called, and I didn't think much of it. Our top 6 guys fouled out of that game, and we lost in overtime. And I'm sure Sondheimer's going to go back and research this to make sure I'm telling the story the way it is. So then about 3 or 4 years later, or 5 years later, I joined the high school association, and our meetings were down at LeConte. And I looked up to the front of the room, and the president of the association was Lonnie Lee, which is Greg's dad, who was the coach at Reseda. And I thought, whoa, wait a minute. Damn those referees. He had those referees in his pocket.
The fix was in.
The fix was in. We couldn't do anything to stop Greg. So, but I look at that list of inductees and I'm thinking, what am I doing? There's Darryl Stroh, Mike Mayo. I coached against those guys and coached with them in Bernie Milligan games, and just tremendous high school baseball coaches, and then all the pro athletes and it's just I am truly humbled and blessed to be even thought of to be put on that list to get inducted. So I'm looking forward to it. Got a lot of family members coming, so it should be a fun evening.
Mike, we'll see you on Sunday. Congratulations.
All right, thank you very much, Randy and Tarek. Will you be there on Sunday, Tarek?
I don't think I'll be there on Sunday, no. But Mike, I'm gonna get your number, man. We got to get lunch or something.
I got his number.
I'm on board with that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on. Okay.
All right. Take care, Mike. All right. We got to talk a little volleyball here. We were able to do the Taft match at home against Granada Hills the other night on LA 36 in our Pacific Surfliner game of the week. Great match. Went 5 sets. Blake Pohevitz was the star, number 2, you see, with the arm swing there. Granada Hills is number 1 in the city. Taft, since that match Tuesday, has beaten number 2 Eagle Rock and number 6 Granada Hills. So these are 2 teams, Tark, that could meet again at the end of the year.
Yes, Chatsworth is the team to beat, the number 1 team in the city, and I think they proved that. Pohevitz, probably going to be our Daily News Boys Volleyball Player of the Year at this rate. He's really just carrying the team and looks to be unstoppable. Let's see if he can get the Chancellors to a city title.
Yeah, but great credit to Taft after losing that heartbreaker on Tuesday to come back Wednesday. Armin Mercado did a great job. They sweep Eagle Rock, who was number 2 in the city, and then beat Granada Hills tonight in 3 straight. Granada was number 6. We're going to have that championship match May 13th on our air live at 6 o'clock. We're looking forward to that. Will it be Chatsworth? Will it be Taft again? Who knows? We will have that championship match on the air on the 13th. All right, let's talk a little Boras Classic baseball. Great games. I know Notre Dame's into the final. That's a team in your area. You got to be excited about that. But we had a game earlier where there was an odd play. La Mirada and Santiago of Corona. The ball hits the umpire here, and they kill the play.
Hi.
Yeah, and they put him at
Why?
first and I don't know. I'm confused. I had to show that to people.
If I'm not mistaken, I mean it can be unfortunate, but isn't the ump like kind of part of the field? You just kind of keep playing if it hits them, right?
That's what I thought. Instead, they put him at first and third, called the runner out at second. All right, that's one game. Okay, then there was another game where Maranatha upset highly regarded Santa Margarita 5-4. Here's the shot that won the game right here. Scoring fly ball that gets it done, and the team from Pasadena pulls off the 5-4 upset. All right, Let's turn our attention after basketball. Let's move ahead and talk a little basketball. God always talk basketball on this show. Amari Bailey, who was the Daily News Player of the Year last year, I got to believe it, Sierra Canyon.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
He didn't win it last year?
No, Dusty Stromer. Amari was hurt a lot his senior year, as you know. He won it his junior year.
Okay, all right, I get it. That's fair. All right, so anyway, it's a great player at Sierra Canyon. He hits this mammoth shot to almost beat Gonzaga, gave the Bruins the lead in the waning seconds. He today declared for the NBA draft, and again, he's a freshman. Where do you see him going? How high?
I mean, everything. Yeah, that's the question, Randy. Well asked, because he's going to be a first rounder. The question is where in the first round. And someone like Amari Bailey, I think, okay, he's 6'5", lefty. He can handle the ball. He can jump out the gym. What I think is going to actually help him get higher is if you talk to any coach that's been around Amari, they all have great things to say about him. And I've always been of the opinion when it comes to evaluation, Randy, for example, when a college coach shows up to a high school game at football, basketball, they already know the kid can play. You see what I'm saying? They show up because they want to know what kind of kid he is. Is he a good teammate? Is he good in the classroom? Do his teachers like him? So on and so forth. So when this vetting process starts for Amari Bailey, I think they're going to find out that coaches love to coach him. He responds well, and he's really matured. I see him going mid-first round, maybe late teens. I don't see him quite as a lottery, but maybe 16, 17, maybe to 22, something like that.
Ethan Anderson has transferred to Pepperdine. He was a great star at Fairfax, went on to play at USC, then Wyoming. Now he's going out to Malibu to play for the Waves. He was a tremendous player at the prep level for the Lions.
It's Ethan Anderson. Boy, I remember he was playing high school basketball. It seems like forever ago. I'm shocked he still has eligibility, but he'll play for Lorenzo Romar at Pepperdine, and I think he's a very, very good college player.
You know what? ESPN put out a poll of the national best teams in girls basketball. And the number one team in the country was not Etiwanda, who won the state title. They were fourth. Sierra Canyon was the number one ranked team in the country. Your thoughts on that?
Listen, I think as a competitor and as an athlete, you always say, well, you're only as good as your last game. And Sierra Canyon's last game, they lost it. So, yeah, obviously there's a source of contention there. However, they only lost the one game all year long. They got the best player in the country in Juju Watkins, McKinley Randolph, Azella Arenas. I mean, some really, really good players. I think Etiwanda and Sierra Canyon played 10 times. Sierra Canyon's going to win more of those games. They obviously split during the year. It's a toss-up. I can see how Sierra Canyon was named, mythical national champion, basically.
I agree with the call. I actually agree with it because they did split. Sierra Canyon beat them for the Open Division CIF Southern Section Championship, and then Etiwanda got its revenge in the state tournament. You know where I'll be this weekend. Sunday, I'm going to the banquet at the Odyssey at Granada Hills for the Hall of Fame. Quickly, where are you going to be this week?
I'm not so sure. I think I'm going to try and get to the Boras Classic tomorrow. If not, I'll catch some city section baseball, Birmingham versus El Camino Real. My guess is we'll have a little help from the Orange County Register and the Southern California News Group. Notre Dame is playing Huntington Beach in the Boras Classic. I'll probably stay local, catch some West Valley League baseball.
Should be a great baseball game with Huntington Beach and Notre Dame as Sherman Oaks. Oliver Boone just threw a great shutout against Jay Serra for Notre Dame in that Boras Classic. Tarek, we'll see you again next week, hopefully in studio.
I will be there. Thank you.
All right, you got it. And again, Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week, wanted to mention. We were talking volleyball earlier. There it is, 6 o'clock, May 13th, the Open Division City title. By the way, April 29th, we'll have the cheer championships from Birmingham, LA City section cheer titles. For Tarek, I'm Randy, and our entire LA 36 crew. I want to thank Wesley Walker, Mike Scyphers. We congratulate them going into the LA City section Hall of Fame. We'll see you next Thursday night live right here on LA 36. Good night, everybody.
Randy, we got to get you on TV with some pom-poms.
Yes, I'm
cheerleading.
A cheerleader. Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah. Maybe have one of the cheerleaders teach you like a cheer or something. I think that's a good intro.
Throw a baton. I need to throw a baton. Those are